Why?
Well,
It's
maybe.
part
I don't know.
of the sentence so that you can
You
distinguish
have to end
the
it.
end of one
Yeah.
phrase, the beginning of another.
We're not just
How
running on
fucking
here, folks.
crazy are semicolons?
Dude,
right?
you ever seen an Oxford comma?
No, I don't even know. I didn't go to college.
Welcome, horrible people, to the Horrorble Opinions podcast. As always, I'm your this is the best movie in the series. No, it's not, but it's up there, Kenny.
This is one of the worst movies in the Friday series, Daniel.
I fucking knew it.
I'm your adorable nighttime nightmare worm, Ryan.
Oh, it was adorable.
He's so cute.
And in today's installment of the Friday the 13th series, we are watching a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy vs. Jason, 2003. Fun fact, this is the only Freddy or Jason... No, I might have seen the Nightmare remake in theaters, but the only Friday the 13th movie I seen in theaters. I didn't see the remake in theaters. I think I was in college and broke.
This might have been the first Friday movie I ever saw.
Oh.
Yeah, I can believe that. 2003? I can believe that. But you think about how much I love like the Nightmare movies, the fact that this is the last one that had Robert Englund, kind of crazy. Because like, I'd watched them up to this point, but man, this was a huge deal when this came out. Like, they'd been teasing it, building up to it for like a fucking decade.
What year is New Nightmare?
New Nightmare is... Let me think. I'm not searching this.
Reach back into the annals of your mind.
1994.
Ah, I was gonna say 95.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. Well, when was Jason Goes to Hell?
Do you mean Jason X?
Jason X is the last one. The one.
Yes,
before
but
this
Jason
one.
Goes to Hell was the one where they aggressively teased
Oh, okay.
Freddy versus Jason. That had the claw. That was 93. So it was a 10-year gap between them straight up showing us a Freddy claw at the end of a Jason movie. And all that time and effort Kane Hodder put into trying to, get them to do this, it really paid off for everyone but him.
Well,
because
if you're gonna
we got a new
have
Jason
Robert
in this.
England is not short.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kane Hodder is not tall.
He's taller than us,
I mean,
but he's
sure,
not
but
gargantuan.
He's not gargantuan, and that's kind of what you're gonna want to see, because in this movie, Freddy Krueger is the little yippy yappy dog that's just going manic all over the place, and Jason Voorhees is your big burly mountain
Is the
dog
mountain.
yeah, just there, like letting you roll all over it. That's what's fun about it. If physically you kind of and it should be this way.
They could have just not had Robert Englund.
No,
they couldn't do that.
Hell,
You fuck off, okay?
I think Robert Englund's wasted on this movie.
I
think he
had a great time.
He had a great time. They had to try to give enough, time to each of them. So yeah. But when you got one character who is straight up an actual character, and then you got a person who just walks around killing things, like, you give more time to the actual character. We don't need... And of course, I don't know, you really don't see that much Jason. He just pops up, kills. That's why this is a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Like, Ryan and I, we've discussed this in the past. Like, it's really not a Friday movie.
So, much like in a Godzilla movie, I don't want to see any human characters at all.
Well, okay.
I don't want to see this movie needed to just be Freddy and Jason.
Yeah, but how do you get to be Freddy and Jason? I
don't fucking care. Figure it out. That's your job, not mine.
I thought it was a kind of a stupid, funny, like, okay, idea to get them together.
The concept of Freddy, of the town forgetting who Freddy is, and him needing people to remember and needing to get them scared to remember. That's a cool concept.
Yes. The Freddy as a mind disease that they've actually quarantined kids away so they don't spread him is wonderful.
That's awesome, but I feel like that'd be better in its own movie almost.
Sure,
yeah.
But we're not gonna get that because
I think
the
like
last
all the
one was Freddy Goes to Hell,
pieces,
and that movie was god awful. We haven't
all the pieces in this movie are good on their own, but I just don't think they work together well.
See, I think this is what you want. It's ridiculous. We're putting these two characters together. They don't really have any...
the last 20 minutes of this are what you want.
Yes.
Well, yeah, your payoff. I mean, your Kong versus Godzilla. You're teasing the whole thing. That's how they get you in the seats. I think if you discount the fact that Jason is supposed to be his own iconic character, is this like the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie? No. Is it the worst? No. It's got some solid, it's got some solid Freddy, but it's a lot of just for being this far into the Freddy series, it's got a lot of just focusing on the characters, like the non-murder characters, and there's less Freddy fucking around with people. He had some good scenes, but yeah, it's a lot less Robert than we're used to seeing at this point in the Nightmare movies, I guess I would say. Even though we do literally get to see Robert early on with a nice flashback, which is where I want to point out he is a classically like Shakespearean trained actor, and they got him licking a picture of a child.
I look, put him on Mount Rushmore.
They hadn't actually said action yet, so he was just
he
thought he was licking stamps.
This movie, it had a fantastic Nightmare on Elm Street like series recap. So we didn't get a Friday recap in this,
right?
Not really.
They did the Friday the 13th, only they did it with Nightmare.
With Nightmare, so the premise. Yeah, so Freddy's been forgotten. He has no power. He needs to get these people scared of him again. So he finds a sleeping Jason. We have to assume he's sleeping to get into his head and wake him back up. So every time Jason's out of commission, he's just sleeping, I guess. Somehow has enough brain for Freddy to get in there and impersonate his mother, because we know, hey, that's his driving factor. I don't know how Freddy knows that, but he figures it out. And it's like, hey, mommy needs you to go kill, okay? And look, I know you like to kill at camp. Yeah, I know you like to kill at camp, but I'm gonna need you to leave camp, okay,
Does
buddy?
he give like a
draws a crayon map,
latitude and longitude for Elm Street?
What he does is he
just
Freddy
says
shows,
Elm Street.
Yeah, there's lots of Elm Street. In fact, I think that's
What if
even
he went
line.
to the wrong one? What if we just didn't see him going to the wrong one a bunch of times?
Yeah, they cut that part out. He massacres half of America.
That's why it took 10 years to make.
I think there's even a line in one of the Nightmare movies where they're like, "There's lots of Elm Streets."
Every town
that's more
has
of
an
a
Elm Street.
Every town has an Elm Street. Yeah,
Right, but that's more of a...
Is it? We're talking about all the cool Nightmare on Elm Street things about this movie. However, this is supposed to be part of our Friday the 13th series movies. So, what would you say about Friday the 13th in this movie?
So we wanted to bring back the mom, but we obviously couldn't bring back the original mom, so we
brought
Paula
back that
Shaw.
sweater.
We got to keep bringing back that sweater.
And you know what? I think she did a pretty good job, like with the mouth and the teeth and the delivery. You could tell she watched the movie. She watched that first movie.
Yeah.
She took some notes.
Paula Shaw did pretty good. As far as Friday stuff goes, we did what a couple of the other Fridays did and just ignore the rest of them. Because as we talk about, I think we've even mentioned it leading up to this, Jason doesn't have any issues with fucking water. I don't even think he has to breathe. He kills people out of water.
Okay, yeah, we'll get in. Also, Jason is a slug demon, and I don't know why we're not bringing that back.
True. He can jump bodies.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then, Freddy's a beautiful caterpillar.
Right? I mean, that's fine.
Look, here's all the Friday we got in this. We've got Jason, we've got his mom, we got a machete, we got the first kill we see him do in the current timeline of the movie is after people fuck.
And that was a very Jason kill, where he even folded the bed up afterwards.
Yeah, that guy had it coming. We'll talk about him.
Oh.
We get classic Jason being confused every now and then.
we got Jason getting hit in the head with a cigarette butt. I mean, it's all great.
Yeah. We got Jason. Jason had a lot of very nice shots in this, like creepily stalking through the woods. Like, I love the look of this movie. I love the look of a lot of 2000s. Early 2000s.
Okay, Kenny. This is where we're... No, we got a problem. Did you watch a lot of WB as a kid or something?
No. This is that classic New Line look.
This is Dawson's Creek of horror movies.
We
it's
can't get Josh Hartnett. Can we get someone
because he was in the Halloween movie?
Who kind of looks like Josh Hartnett, but looks weird. Can we do that?
Are you talking about Jason Ritter?
We can't get this guy either.
Well,
can we get someone who looks like
guy
this
from
guy?
Blonde Chicks? Is that Jason Ritter?
Are you talking about Will's friend?
No, we're not talking about
Mark. We're not talking about Blubberella.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were talking about the Uwe Boll buddy.
There's 2 Uwe Boll actors in this.
There is. I noticed that. Yes. No, Jason Ritter played Will.
Okay.
Jason Ritter's fantastic. I will watch him in anything. Like, this
Sure.
is a very WBCW cast. In fact, it was almost more so, because I guess...
this is probably the movie where I have been the least into the dudes.
yeah, the dudes were all
It's 'cause
trash in this.
They're too pretty.
They're not
Well,
pretty, though.
Oh, okay.
It's funny, though. Okay, so
I'm not
it was
laughing.
almost more
Daniel doesn't think
CW-esque
they're pretty.
because
That hurts my feelings, Daniel.
he doesn't think you're pretty.
No,
Ian,
you're gorgeous. You're perfect,
As
sweetheart.
soon as I hatch out of my cocoon, I'm gonna be a beautiful butterfly.
Yeah, you're
Cocoon?
You're Gaccoon.
you got
Cocoon.
Daniel, you know Ian Somerhalder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
VD.
almost...
Yeah, VD, of course.
Yeah, he was almost cast in this after someone else dropped out, but the director felt he was too pretty.
No, you need that.
That's what it says.
You want that.
That man is like Rob Lowe reincarnate. I could stare at that man all day. But we weren't worrying about the dudes in this one because we got some rock solid ladies. Okay, I want you to tell me.
We have one.
What do you mean? What do you mean one?
I want you to tell me
That
We have
you're
one.
saying that
Outside
overhead
lady.
shot in the shower did nothing for you?
Well, that's not her. That's a body double.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did you already look that up for your research?
No,
of
I
course
just-
he
I-
looked it up.
I know it in my heart's a heart.
Well, here's the thing, Rai.
Okay.
After Robert Englund, who's the next big horror icon in this movie? Without looking it up,
Is it
because obviously this is the first time this guy's played
is it
Jason.
the
So it's not
dad?
him.
Without looking
Is
it
that
up.
the dad or the
I
sheriff?
was gonna say Catherine Isabel
Yeah, it's the correct answer.
because Ginger
that?
Snaps, American
Ginger
Mary,
Snaps, yeah.
Insomnia, the Hannibal TV series. I mean,
Catherine Isabel is a goddamned icon, and people need to put more respect on her name.
if you haven't seen American Mary, go.
Go see that.
Go.
Ginger Snaps is a classic for a reason.
I haven't seen either of these things.
Well, we're going to do Ginger Snaps, and we're going to make everyone uncomfortable talking about periods. Also, the guy who plays that little deputy, Lachlan Monroe,
Deputy.
he's your panty sniffer from White
Yeah,
Chicks.
that's what I'm like. I know
I
you,
only-
panty sniffer.
I only ever think of him as Greg from Scary Movie, even though everything he's in, he's fantastic.
Of course.
But it's like, a baby dick is like a disease. You wouldn't make fun of a guy in a wheelchair, would you? But I think, wasn't he like the crazy roommate in that college Dead Man on Campus, where they're trying to get a roommate to kill themselves because they found out if your roommate commits suicide, they'll automatically pass you through the rest of college?
Is that the one with the Saved by the Bell guy?
Yeah,
Blonde
and
guy?
the dude from
I don't know his real name.
is it him or is it Vanderbeek? No, I think it's him. It's Saved by the Bell guy.
This movie has Jason in it. Okay,
It has the best lake, I think, of all the Jason
good-looking
movies. Might
lake.
be the best
that's
lake.
a nice lake.
They got a nice layer of like mist or fog rolling around on it. Like I love the look of this movie.
And they
Yeah,
kept
I
it
like-
dark enough so you can't just see the other sides, so you don't know it's a pond.
Yeah, but your people that you're supposed to see in the dark, you can see everything going on. Like, some people don't like it. I like being able to see what the fuck's going on. I come to movies to watch them, goddammit. Not to hear them.
I feel like I'm being called out and
I
attacked.
like ambiance.
Well, I hope you like Ambiance, because...
See, the difference is you don't have characters in this stumbling around like they can't see.
Yeah, well, they're getting thrown around. They didn't have time to stumble. And no one stumbles when Kelly Rowland is on set, okay? Of Destiny's Child fame, playing Kia Watt. All I'm saying is I like this cast. It is, yes, it's a very WB cast.
I like the female cast, yes.
You don't like Will and Mark?
Not a single man in this I like.
Wow. You're not even
You
Trey?
don't spend so much time with them, I guess.
Not even Trey.
Who's
Daniel,
Trey?
don't make me ask again, babe.
No, that dude sucks.
You know I don't like you kissing me after you smoking.
Get off of me. I don't like that.
Your hair
Yeah,
smols like
I don't
menthols.
like being
I don't
I
like.
don't
to be
like
cuddled.
being
You know, I
touched
don't like
after,
to be touched
babe. You know
afterwards.
that.
Actually, I'm coming around on him. I think I like him.
I'm like
yeah.
Daniel.
He is-
Like, I saw Kenny in this movie, and I kind of saw a little bit of Daniel in this movie. I mean,
Wait,
not full blown, but I'm like, I see some
What could-
sensory
what-
input things, you know.
What concerns me is you're saying that after we talked about Trey, and that concerns me that you.
No,
Please tell me you see me as the podunk
No, he's saying
guy
he
in
sees
the,
me as Trey.
Yeah, you're the one wearing the '66 jersey.
Yeah, that said, "Well, hello, corn pole."
That's you. Who's
Yeah,
say,
okay.
"Let your freak flag fly"? That's you. Yeah. You know
I
who
figured
you
that's
are.
what you're gonna say. I know who I am. Yeah.
I just don't like to be touched.
It's like, don't touch me after. Don't touch me during.
Freddy wakes Jason up, and we see his body kind of come back together. I guess he walks the 5 minutes. He takes the detour on.
No,
Route
I'm telling you, it
C.
takes 10 years.
Oh, it's a 10-year journey.
Yeah. From the last, from not Jason X, because that's in the future, but from Jason Goes to Hell.
No, we're at Earth 2 at this point, I think.
Oh, this is Earth 2?
Or Earth 2.
This is
okay.
Earth
We don't
2.
like to talk about
so
it.
that's why Jason's body has a body, because it came through and all the metal bits melted and just evaporated, and he's left with the meaty
Sure.
stuff,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just evaporated.
Take that part as read.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're at Laurie's house, not Laurie Strode. 'cause
Yeah.
that's a different series. A different
Right,
Laurie.
very funny.
A better one.
We had opening credits. We had like some late opening title stuff, and then we had some like classic 2000s like warehouse rock. Like I bet like Ben would have like just been going hard.
If I had taken notes, I would have written that down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated
It sucks.
the warehouse rock. This is
So
No, this
good-
wasn't good
There's
warehouse
good
rock.
warehouse rock, but this ain't it.
Yeah,
like,
this ain't it.
was it the fourth or fifth one? No. Was it the third where our man Mancini, the composer for all the previous Friday the 13th, actually had like, did he ever have lyrics in his opening bits?
I don't know if in the
I don't
opening
think he
bits, but
did.
they did incorporate like Alice Cooper at one point and had that Man Behind the Mask song.
That was at the end
Which
though,
is-
yeah?
That's an absolute banger.
Sure, but it was never, they never did this. And that's why this feels very time-stamped.
Oh,
This
it is
100. Yeah.
100%. This is everything. Oh god, yeah. It's
This is all the good things about the early 2000s.
this was being filmed at that lake at the same time that X2, X-Men United, was being filmed. If that kind of also helps date it for you,
Are they filming at the same lake? What are you saying?
they were filming at the same lake. Yeah.
Well, where's my fucking Wolverine at? That would have made this movie good. Okay.
Dude, Wolverine versus Jason versus
Yes.
Freddy.
Oh.
Freddy would have been so emasculated because Wolverine's got
He's
it
got
on
the
both
tubes.
hands.
He's got two,
Yeah.
and they stick out really far.
He can retract them anytime he wants to wipe his ass without cutting himself. Freddy has to like undo all these straps and shit if he wants to wipe with his left.
Well, why wouldn't he just wipe with the other hand?
Because his phone's in the other hand.
Hello.
Remember that
Not
your
in
phone?
2003, I don't think.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's the size of your head.
Yeah.
Well, no, it'd be just it'd be a little thing, but you're not doing anything on it other than making calls.
I'm playing Snake.
He's got one of those little. He's got one
Playing
of those
Snake.
cheap electronic video game handheld things in early 2000s. So he's playing
you mean a Game Boy?
No. One of the ones that has one game on it. You put like it's like here's bowling,
Here's-
and it's just like
yeah. Batman
here's
or
poker, right?
Frogger or-
yeah, poker, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things were legit. Simpler times.
We're at Laurie's house. It's actually the
there's a
one
little-
from Heather Langenkamp's old house.
It's not Halloween.
14. I'm trying really hard not to say Haddonfield, Illinois right now, all right? I'm trying very hard.
Where is this?
It's on Elm Street. 1428 Elm Street, Daniel.
God damn it, Daniel.
And we're at
Right, but
Laurie's
where?
house. And she's got her friends there, and they're playing
Where is this?
Murder Fuck Mary. And I'm with Kia. Why are we playing this dumb game? This is stupid. And I'm thinking to myself,
What would you rather be doing?
I'd
Mario
rath-
Party? I'd rather Mario Party, yeah.
yeah, Super
I
Smash
like
Brothers.
Mario Party.
I'm not doing that, but yeah.
No, it's where we come together really hard and hit our bones together.
I don't like touching.
I mean,
He doesn't like touching.
yeah, I'm with Kia. I'm not with Kia on her being like, okay, Lori, we don't want you alone in this house.
We gotta get you a man.
We got to get.
We're gonna hook you up with
Ooh,
this.
You got to shack up with this Blake guy, cause I mean he's here. So go show him your bedroom. God, Kia really pushed.
Blake's a real man, okay? If one of Blake's friends went down, Blake would be like, "I'll avenge you, bro. Like I'm gonna get that guy, bro. Like Blake's got your back, bro." Blake is
Blake needed to hit the brakes because coming on too strong. Annoying.
I mean, you're gonna give me the tour of the house. You can start by giving yourself a tour of the kitchen and get us some beers. And go, yeah, you're killing it, dude.
I don't like people being like overly familiar quickly.
Yeah, but Daniel, tell me this. Does this turn you on? I really like the flow of your place. Got good feng shui.
Get away
Killer
from me.
line, dude. Killer line. That nails. Early 2000s, that nails. She's so exotic for
It's
no
not
one.
her place.
Oh, she lives there, man.
She lives with her parents.
Okay,
Or
here's,
parent.
Here's where I
rather.
was confused because I had forgotten because these people are in their mid-20s and I had
Right.
forgotten they're supposed to be high school kids,
Right.
Classic.
but they've started their jobs in the workforce in real life. I mean, they have
It's
graduated
fine.
university at least, and they've maybe they've gotten their first raise. I don't know, but they are absolutely not 17 18-year-olds.
Well, maybe that's why Kia's so pushy. She's like, look, I know your mom died, but you need to get back on that old pogo stick. Like, maybe we need a Kia in our lives.
Yeah, and what's wrong with Blake? All he really did was scratch his sack, okay?
He scratched his sack. He wanted to talk about feng shui.
He's trying to make conversation.
I'll tell you what's wrong with Blake.
He doesn't have a cute ass like Trent.
That's it right there. That's what's wrong with him. He doesn't read the vibes. Needed a vibe check, you know?
Needed a vibe check. Well, the vibe he thought was good, but he didn't actually know anything about feng shui.
You know what? The feng shui
Vibe was bad.
The feng shui was so good in this house that you couldn't shut doors. Otherwise, it would interrupt the feng shui. Therefore, even if you're having sex in a bedroom, you need to leave the door open so the camera can at least move in and everyone can see what you're doing.
Well,
otherwise,
I mean,
the feng
I
shui
think
just gets ruined.
I think it's a well-known fact that cameras don't have hands and can't open doors. You want to leave it open for that reason alone.
And that's why we left the back door open in the kitchen that Blake had to shut.
Well, I think a wind came because they had that window open, and I think that wind blew that door open.
All throughout the house.
Yeah,
to that door.
That's what a wind does.
And then classic Jason doing a classic Jason thing of ignoring everyone downstairs and walking upstairs to where the people are fucking. Like, gotta kill them first. This is priority. I'll go back downstairs later.
Trey was a priority kill because he sucked.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was like at this point in the movie, Jason is a hero.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Jason, Trey and Gib, do their boning, and we kind of talked about all the Trey's and asshole stuff. So Gib's like, guess I'll go shower then. And Jason comes in there with Trey on the bed alone and gets a couple good machete stabs through him, and then stares at him, thinks, you know what, you're a big douchebag. You need a little more. Grabs the edges of the mattress, folds them up in half like a taco, or kind of like if you were doing a hot dog, but in a slice of bread and not on a hot dog bun.
Oh, you mean like a poor person hot dog?
Yeah, poor person hot, and you kind of hear him like, ah! Like, oh, you're my hero. You can be my hero, Jason. But then Jason nopes out of there after killing the one guy.
Well, he thinks his work is done.
His work is done. Well, there's people downstairs all over the place. There's no way, like, I'd like to think Jason's just oblivious to all people at all times and just every now and then walks in like, oh, you was fucking, and just misses everyone else.
I swear, Jason, I wasn't.
I wasn't.
We're playing Smash Brothers.
It's called an enema. You're supposed to do it for health reasons. So Trey's dead. This was all part of Freddy's plan to get Jason back to Elm Street to start killing people because he knows, hey, there are still people there that know about him. Sooner or later, someone's going to do a name drop.
Well, yeah, but they treat him like Voldemort. We don't say his name.
I like that a lot.
That's what worked, though.
But there are people who still know who he is. So I guess
adults, they're not children.
Right. So the mythology is they have to be kids.
Right.
Okay.
But then, Freddy killed the one dude's wife.
And he killed Blake's dad. No, that was Jason killed Blake's dad. Freddy did kill the one dude's wife, yes. So it doesn't always track. But I guess maybe he can kill others, but he gets his power more from kids because they have more fear.
I think something like that. The fear builds up, makes him powerful, but it has to come from kids.
Also, in this movie, the parents might be taking Hypnosil.
That's what I thought it would be.
Fair enough.
The adults in town are on Hypnosil.
Oh, okay. Everyone in the town's on Hypnosil.
I could buy that. I mean, the dad had it readily available. That'd be the better way to do it.
Yeah, why don't you just put it in the water supply? I mean, it's going to make your frogs gay, but it'll also make the frogs not be able to dream about Freddy.
Yeah, you don't want frogs getting killed by Freddy. My notes right here were right kid died.
True.
And then they run outside, and the first car they wave down is a very convenient cop.
Yes.
And it's that guy we're talking about, Panty Sniffer.
Like, it's Panty Sniffers.
Yeah, I was like, he's got a baby penis. It's like a disability. And so the cops get there, and they're doing the crime scene, and the kids are still around, which, again, why are the kids still, like, in the crime scene? Like, get them the fuck out of there. Then one of the little other cops is like, it's gotta be him. It's gotta be Freddy. And the other cop's like, shut the fuck up. What do you do? We have one job in this town. It's not to say his name. And you come out here and you fucking say his name.
I think
are you that stupid?
They should have shot him in the head right then and there.
Yeah.
As example.
Yeah. And they should have been like, yep, Frank killed this guy too. Frank killed Trey. Frank killed this guy. Fucking Frank.
Frank's the worst.
But no. Because you gotta think, the adults have figured out that's how we got rid of Freddy.
This is probably
we don't talk about him.
The most responsible adults in a horror movie.
Yes and no.
Well,
they solved the problem.
They did, but that's kind of like A dictatorship can solve a problem by making you do. What's up, Boo? A dictatorship could solve the problem by just, they can go and let's say a country can be like, nah, you've got no choice.
Oh, my lady just did some Robert England tongue. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
She said, "Who's your boyfriend now, Nancy?"
Welcome to my nightmare.
Ooh.
So they had the right idea, but maybe their methods of doing it weren't the most, I don't know, morally correct.
Good. Well,
right. Well, this town doesn't care about morally good when they're burning the guy alive, right?
This is true.
But
this is true.
Their method has kept the town. They've been Freddy free for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good 4 years.
I don't. Freddy's taking a bit of a risk here, okay? Because he's banking it all on having another well-known serial killer somehow get hit. Freddy's name drop in the process, like as an entourage kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, that's Big J.
The opening act, yeah.
And Big J, that makes me think of Little F. Oh yeah, drop the beat.
Big J's and
You
Little
can
F's.
tell Ryan listens to a lot of rap.
Oh yeah, Big J and F. Yeah, well, okay, it was a Hail Mary though at this point. He had to do something.
How far does his power what is his reach? Because they talk about like blockading city limits. So can he not operate outside of city limits?
He has though.
Because he does.
We're gonna have to put a pin in this for when we do our Nightmare on Elm Street retrospective.
This is true.
In 20 years.
But it's so yeah, maybe. It's so, like, how does he get into Jason's head? My justification is,
well, he said
when Jason's out of commission, he's on like a hellscape.
Yeah.
Traveling in hell and found him down there, which lines up with Jason going to hell, right?
Right.
Yeah,
they're hanging out with
then
demon
Jason's
slugs.
just sleeping in the lake.
Right.
His body is.
So when Jason's out of commission, I guess his spiritually is in hell, and who knows? But I think I want to see the movie or read the graphic novel where Jason fights his way out of hell every time. Like, nah, I'm going back. And just
why wouldn't you just let him go back? Why's he got to fight?
Maybe there's rules. Like,
fucking
gotta
rules.
be mad if I just let him go. Like, hey, look, he fought his way out. What am I gonna do?
You know
he did the Gladiator Prince of Hell.
The real villain of this movie is
Freddy.
No, who screws this up for everyone?
Who screws
that
this
cop.
up?
Nope. I mean,
the weed kid.
It's Lori.
Oh, Lori. She tells everyone, right?
Because
she says,
because then she has the dream.
She's like,
and
what was the name? What was the name?
She's out there ringing her Freddy bell, going Freddy Krueger.
Even if she hadn't done that, the one kid, the Blubberella guy, still
came
would
back and said the fucking chant,
back and
like
said the whole thing.
Yeah, and the school like, great entrance, buddy. Right before that,
and then he was like, oh fuck. That's what he wanted.
I'm so stupid.
I'm so stupid.
Yeah, Lori gets taken to the police station where she's having that, trying to figure out his name, and she finally says his name, and boom, she's right in a dream sequence. Like, I love the effects in this movie. We get these, like, drippy... I don't know if it's supposed to be blood drips from the ceiling that are just dropping and disappearing, or if it's supposed to be weird bloody footprints that are just going and disappearing, but it kind of plays either way, like following them down. And then we get this little girl facing away from Lori, and she turns her around. A little girl, her eyes are completely gouged out. And this, I've used this gif multiple times, where she's like, warn your friends, warn everyone. And, you know, Freddy really has a taste for girls, all that. Like, I like that. I like that as being the thing where, like, oh shit, okay, now I obviously have to tell everyone because my dream told me.
Ryan and I are making faces at each other.
You make them. We already established. I love this movie. You guys don't. I've got good taste.
It's just like, you know, you're like, Freddy's got a taste for little girls, and then you're like, I like that.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm 100% on his ticket. Yeah, I like the platform he's standing on.
He says it how it is.
He says
Sorry,
he's just saying what everyone's thinking.
I just listened to a whole episode about child predators, so I'm a little off.
They fall out of the sky.
Yeah. Now, in my dreams, especially in a Freddy situation, I feel like I have a gun. And I feel like I use that gun when she gets outside the building, the two girls are jump roping, singing the nursery rhyme. I feel like I shoot those girls before they finish the Freddy rhyme. I just shoot them. Like, you stop, creepy kids jump, you're dead. You're dead. This is my dream. I got a big heckin' gun.
I often, me personally, dream about just mowing kids down.
Yeah, all the time. That's the American way. Now we cut back to Blake, who's sitting outside getting hassled by his dad. My best friend was just killed, Dad, so how about giving me some fucking space? Were you drinking, Blake? What? Dad goes inside. Blake lifts up the flask that was sitting next to him. Like, no, he wasn't drinking. Well, I'm going to get this guy, Trey. I'm going to get this guy for you. I'm going to find this guy, Trey. I'm going to find him. Don't worry.
And then, bam, we're in Jurassic Park. The trees are moving, the bushes are shaking because there's a raptor. And I'm making a Jurassic Park joke to myself, but then he turns around and there's a goat. There's a goat for the T-Rex to eat.
Yes. I was hoping Freddy would have finally used the dinosaur in one of his dream scenarios.
That'd be funny.
Then he wakes up after. Okay, I didn't like the Freddy tries to do like a shadow attack thing at him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that kind of looked lame, but I guess maybe that's
CG
kind of the point.
in this is bad, so
In some parts, it's bad.
no,
like,
it's all bad.
But
in some parts,
you
it's
know
bad.
what's not bad? We didn't mention it, but because we're supposed to be focusing on Jason, but the Freddy mask at the beginning monologue, the lighting and his eyes, the blue in his eyes, and just the it's so good.
It's a great nightmare movie. That's all I'm saying. Great one. Well, we'll see how you rank that. Because I think we can all agree this really needs to be in that retrospective. Maybe
I'll say this. New Nightmare is my favorite Nightmare movie.
New Nightmare is a fucking banger. So Blake wakes up. Dad's there to console him. Maybe have a catch with him. Maybe give him a little head, as dads do.
I'm sorry, what?
No, that's pretty big head.
Because pretty big head.
Oh, because his head falls off.
Yeah, he wakes up and his dad's head. Dad's sitting there, his head falls into his lap. So my question is, did Jason just position him and just stand there and wait for him to wake up? Like, this is going to be so fucking funny.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's practical jokester in him, yeah.
How did he get it without, like, blood everywhere? That head's, like, completely, like, the neck cut. Like, did he heat the blade?
He did it so fast that it's like a lightsaber.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what, Blake? Here's your shot. Don't miss your chance to blow. You can get that guy that got
Vince Trey.
No, sorry, Blake. That's okay. Cut to Insane Asylum, where we've got our man Will, played by the very handsome Jason Ritter. Although
Not
I don't know if
handsome at all.
He's very handsome. I don't know if he's more handsome than his father, John, or not, but
R.I.P.
Look, R.I.P. You're a real one. And then we get his little buddy Mark Davis, played by Brendan Fletcher, who, is in a lot of Uwe Boll movies.
We all know from Blubberella, obviously.
That we refuse to actually record an episode on for reasons. Cowards.
It is cowardly.
It is cowardly. And I do wonder if we should rethink the rethinking. But we can discuss that later.
We want to have a season 2, everybody.
Maybe we do a podcast with us talking about whether or not to do the Blubberella podcast.
Can we talk about
we watch
Blubberella?
the movie, we don't talk about it. We just talk about whether we should be talking about it, right?
Yes.
The movie that can't be talked about.
I mean, okay, more important than that, everyone's got to know. Are you a checkers guy or are you an Uno guy?
I'm an Uno guy. Get the Uno cards and we'll
guy.
talk.
That's not an option. Jeez, Daniel.
I'm flipping
It's
this
Uno.
table over. I'm fucking playing with you.
I just like his attitude with the other patients. They're like, yeah, these guys, well, that's what happens probably when you put not crazy people in a place with crazy people. You probably just kind of rule the roost a little bit, or you stay away and hide in fear because they're crazy. That's probably me. And we find out that Mark, with a little picture, is Scott Farkas's little brother. Scott Farkas. Zach Ward. Who was also in an Uwe Boll movie, but also was Scott
you mean
Farkas
Nikolai
in A Christmas
from
Story.
Resident Evil
I've got this bitch.
2, I guess. Or is that 3? Is it 2? 3? I don't fucking know.
He was
3.
dude in the Postal movie.
No, he's Resident Evil not Apocalypse. It was 2. What's the name of the second one?
Fuck if I know, man. It's hard to
Residential
keep track
Evil
of
2.
those things. He's also in Alone in the Dark 2.
Oh.
Blood Rain 2.
Oh.
I didn't realize how many Uwe Boll movies he was in. He's in a
Both
lot
of those guys,
Yeah.
the brothers, are in a lot of Uwe Boll movies.
It's a weird thing. Yeah.
It is very odd.
Is Uwe Boll a producer on this?
I don't think so. It's actually good.
Well, I mean,
agree to disagree, but it's a movie.
It is a movie.
Everybody on
And-
the Hypnosil.
Yeah. So we'll give him drugs. And then we see, Will sees on TV that Lori's house is on the news. Someone got murdered there. And, well, he's like, well, that ain't good. That's my boo. I can't let some little geeky kid try to move in on her. I know there's a little geeky kid trying to move in on her. Little Christopher Marquette playing Charlie Linderman, who we recognize from other things. He's good. Look, a lot of these actors went on to continue to be enjoyable in other things. That's why I'm saying I like this cast.
Yeah, it's a shame they're just not enjoyable in this.
Sure.
They're great
right.
in it. It's a fantastic movie.
It's no. Okay.
Classic stammer cuts.
No, leave it in there because it's an imperfection. This movie, the sets don't have imperfections. They're too pretty. They're too clean.
They really are. I'll give you that.
Okay? It needed some grit. Even when we get to like the cornfield rave party, the corn looks clean. I don't understand how you accomplish that. The dirt looks like the cleanest dirt I've ever seen in my life.
It's a set.
That's what the
Lord.
problem is. This all looks fake.
The boiler room is not a set. It's an old boiler room that they redressed by the crew. I thought for the boiler room scenes in the Freddy Nightmares, I thought it was just the underbelly of the ship from Jason Takes Manhattan.
What is with Nightmare on Elm Street and Boiler Room?
Because he always he did his crimes like in a the place he, I don't know, reminisced on his crimes or whatever in his house was like a boiler type room looking thing. Maybe it had that furnace. I think the key of the boiler room is just
he
having
didn't
a furnace.
do his crimes in his basement.
Well, in one of the things, wasn't he a school janitor? Oh no, that's when they made fun of him in Scream. He was the school janitor.
No, he worked at the school.
Okay. There's lots of nightmare lore that goes back and forth, much like all of our horror movie series where we don't just keep it straight.
Jason used to be a slug, a demon slug. I don't think people appreciate this, and I don't think it's brought up enough.
That's true. Epiphany. It's between Scream and Child's Play as far as which horror series might have the most like upkept like canon throughout the series.
I'd say it's Child's Play.
I think Child's Play been pretty consistent.
Yeah, that's say Scream.
Because with Child's Play, you
both.
have the same writer for literally all of them.
This is true, and even when you think it's like a divergence from something, they tie it back in later.
Yeah, it's not a clear, well, where the hell was that? Or
like sometimes the win, but it's all like nothing's being like fully retconned. The most they've ever done is expanded on some stuff.
Yeah,
and I think Scream's the same way.
Scream is kind of like, oh, this person was secretly helping this person kill.
Yeah, they'll kind of expand it in ways where it's like a little less believable. So yeah, I'll give the nod to Child's Play there, but fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, they don't fucking care. They're just making movies. They're just making money. Jeez, they're just like, whatever. I think they're all victims of the, okay, that's an interesting script. Maybe it's not good enough, but what if we put Jason in it? What? I think that's most of those movies. More so the Friday ones, the Nightmare. I think the Nightmare ones, you have to have a Freddy angle the entire time to write those.
I think that's way more of a Hellraiser thing.
Freddy's Revenge would disagree with you.
Okay, I'll give you that, but that's also a baller Friday movie.
It's one of the best.
Absolutely one of the best. And one of the best gay horror movies. Which, you watch that guy's documentary? This is a nice tangent where we're talking about nightmare stuff on a Friday retro, but it's a good documentary. We'll move back.
Lori wants to go to school. Not only does Lori want to go to school on the next day after her friend has just been murdered, but her other friends also go to school the next day after everyone has been murdered. What, Daniel?
Does this mean that they were having that party not on a Friday?
On a school night.
Fucking school night.
Because I don't think time has passed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Marcus is a real one and helps facilitate Mark helps facilitate their escape from the mental asylum. And I like to think that as they're escaping out of there, you just see Michael Myers walk out too, like going some other direction. That would have been great.
Yeah.
So there's a. Do you guys remember when school shootings were news?
Were new
and not just a daily occurrence? Because they name dropped Columbine, and I remember like, ooh, yeah, shit, man.
That was a bad one.
That was a bad one. Man, bygone era. Holy shit.
Good thing we got through that, and that's not a thing anymore.
It's not a thing anymore. Before she goes to school, the dad's trying to give her the Hypnosil, and he hides it in some juice. And she won't drink the juice. And I'm thinking there's got to be so much goddamn wasted juice in that house, because now he's probably not going to drink it. And that makes me sad.
Well, I mean, he could still drink it.
But what if he already took his Hypnosil? Can he OD on the Hypnosil?
And does Hypnosil make you drowsy?
No, it just makes no dreams.
Makes no dreams.
So then why does she?
It has to be no dreams.
Why does she need to drink it right now? Oh, he's trying to get her to go to sleep because she hasn't been up all night. I mean, and you know what? He's probably doing the right thing. Like, honey, maybe don't go to school right now.
Yeah, but I think at a certain age, though, you tell them like, hey, this is a situation with this town. I know it's crazy, but you have to take this. Otherwise, this thing happens.
So
bad thing
I would
happens.
say they're good adults, with the exception being that they don't trust the kids with the truth. If they had trust, like just do a little bit of trust, be like, here's the situation with our town. Why don't we just move? I don't fucking know.
You can't do it though.
We got a
Daniel.
mortgage, man.
Yeah, you got a mortgage. You got bills to pay. I don't know. You're paying off
Right,
your
but if
boat.
you relocate, if you just do a town swap with another town over, you know, classic like.
You're spreading the disease.
That's right.
Are you,
gotta put
though?
'em-
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. There's an Elm Street in every town. Miss Turner, you're in one.
I guess.
We're at the
Yeah,
we're,
so we're at
We're at the
school.
school. I'm like, hey, it's Kenny.
We're smoking. Yeah.
Kenny's
yeah,
there
it's fine.
saying, "That a girl? Let your freak flag fly." And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, get to the party. The not Jason Mewes character is there.
In my head, before I rewatched this, I just thought that was Jason Mewes.
Everyone, that's been the thing the whole time. It's like, that is not Jason Mewes.
Was it supposed to be him? And he just.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know for sure on that, but there was a period in time.
Because in my head, Jay and Silent Bob were in this movie.
They are.
They were in Scream 3. There was a period of time where they were gonna set up, and I wish to God they would have done this, a modern day Abbott Costello situation with Jay and Silent Bob. They were gonna try to put them in with all the current horror icons. And a lot of
Would've
people
worked.
hate Scream 3. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. Is it the smartest one of the bunch? No, but it's still fun. And having them in it,
Which one is Scream 3?
it's where they're
movie.
making the first stab movie, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like Dewey's like the security guard and all that shit. It's still a good time, and Jay and Silent Bob are in it. And I think that's fantastic. And I would love to have seen Jay and Silent Bob have to interact and go through and keep surviving these fucking movies.
Lance Henriksen's in that one.
He is.
Lance Henriksen's in a lot of things.
He was in Derailed.
He was. That's a
Right,
movie.
he was. You're right. I had to think about it.
I was like,
Do you
yeah.
think
I
I
was like, what was that
messing
bad
with you?
movie?
What was that pause about?
I was thinking, like, was he in
He
that
has
brief
top
pause
billing on
was-
that movie.
Derailed?
That was me condensing that entire movie in about 2 seconds in my head and going, oh.
That's fine. Lori goes to school. She's talking to her friends. They're like, man, situation's really messed up. And then she starts,
Little nerdy boy.
little nerdy Lindeman's coming up. If you need someone to talk to, and Kia's like, oh, back off, hormones. Okay, fine.
Hormones?
Hormones.
What a good day.
They come on
Get
hard.
this man another marg.
They come on hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is they're talking in the hallway, full hallway, and this is where I have another problem with this movie. Mark shows up, and that short time of them escaping the asylum and getting there, because remember the murder we seen last night. This is the next day, as far as we can tell. He has found not only some clothes, but some very nice fitting clothes. Like those are cut to his size.
Well,
Where do you get
I
those
imagine
clothes?
I imagine Wardrobe probably gave them to them and just said put them on.
I didn't go to one of them High School Musical high schools, so I didn't just have.
Well, this is
wardrobe
clearly
lying
one of those
around.
because all the kids are just standing around watching.
Well, there's a lot of drama going on right there. The kids were.
Go the fuck to
Lori-
class.
Well, how are you gonna go to class? Lori's about to drop a banger here because she's talking about I had this dream and these kids and they were singing this horrible song. It was Friday, Friday.
Kenny, yes, Kenny. I mean, did you hear the part where she was like, and in this dream, there was this man, and he was a banana man, and he murdered Strawberry Princess. And I'm like, oh, man.
Oh man, which episode was that in?
And I'm like, oh. Talking about Chompy. Chompy's before. Anyway, so yeah, Will and Mark come up, and Mark's all coming at her, mad crazy, being like, yeah, your dreams are going to kill you. There's a guy. Ah. And
He
so-
is so little.
He is a little dude. He plays like a guy pretending to be an elf in
He's definitely shorter than her.
Violent Night.
And he's
Oh
little.
yeah, he's a short king
Lori passes out on the floor.
because he spooked her. He was all creepy.
I know. So we
Creepy
get to,
little man running at her.
Lori's in a bed. I look maybe the nurse's office.
Tiny ass bed.
Yeah.
That bed's barely big. That's because it's for children, not adults.
And man,
Are they letting their friends just sit there and wait for her to wake up?
Yeah, they're so sweet.
yeah, and Kia's so impatient.
Go to class.
Can I just talk to her? Yeah, Kia's busy. She's still thinking about wanting to get that nose job. So she's sitting there flipping through this with great. Oh, this is another great nightmare moment.
This was
Got
yes,
your
this was a fun
nose.
nightmare moment.
She's looking at all these like surgery things, pre-op, post-op, because she's interested in nose jobs. And then Freddy's hand comes out of the magazine. I got your nose.
Got your nose!
Claws and rips her nose off her face. Although it's one of those things where like, did she not actually take damage in real life because he's not powerful enough
He's not
yet?
powerful enough yet.
Right, because sometimes he attacks people in dreams and it obviously shows up. Sometimes he does and nothing
Yeah,
happens.
you lose 2 points of sanity, but you don't take any damage to your HP.
What?
Right. Yeah. I love that. That's where I was like, I can't wait to do the Nightmare series. I think I'm going to enjoy doing that more than the Friday series. Hypnosil paid for this movie. If this is a real drug, this is a
It
fantastic...
sounds like a real drug. Like the
yeah,
name.
it works so well.
Isn't it I feel like that's an SNL sketch one where they down all the cough syrup and go to sleep for like ever.
Maybe. I've seen people on cough medicine before, and they get pretty high off it. It's quite amusing for me, being the sober one. Like, you guys are dumb, but... okay.
I believe Hypnosil was introduced in Nightmare Part 3.
Oh, so this is already
It's a canon thing, yeah. Heather Langenkamp character comes back.
In Dream Warriors?
Something like that, and this drug is already something she's working on, I think, if I recall.
She fucking become a chemist?
Yeah.
Well, she's a psychiatrist.
Drug
Or
dealer.
a therapist.
A botanist, perhaps?
She's working at an asylum, much like this one. Man, Dream Warriors are so fucking good.
What?
Can't wait to do that
Okay,
series.
can you explain to me, so we get to the corn rave. Linderman shows up. What's the moral here with Linderman? Why is this character in here? Is it just to teach us, the audience, that kissing that ass ain't gonna get us that ass? Is that the only reason he's here?
We're still in the area where you have to have like the extremely nerdy guy floating around. So he's the horny little puppy that keeps humping.
I don't even think he's
Lori's
horny.
leg. I mean, he thinks he's being a good guy, but like
He is being a good guy.
Yeah, but there's nothing that implies that they're even friends.
Yeah,
like,
he
why
doesn't
isn't he over there
know
trying to
them.
comfort?
Oh,
He's
well,
not
if he
over there
doesn't
trying
know
to comfort
them. How do you
Kia.
know he doesn't know
He's
him?
not.
Daniel, why are you defending Lindemann and you wouldn't defend our good friend Bruce?
Trey?
Not Trey, but the other one, Blake.
Blake.
Which one's Blake?
Blake sucks
Blake
ass.
was the one who
Your feng shui.
guy.
Oh, because he scratched his nards.
Oh, and you've never
Wolfman's
done that,
got
ever.
nards.
Okay.
He has actually never scratched Blake's nards. Linderman is just he's the annoying little pest who's trying to break in, but I mean, he needs to stop trying so hard, and they need to quit being so uptight. It's kind of, they both need to be in the middle.
They both suck.
And they do. We get the impression this is towards the end of their high school careers. Linderman finally stands up for himself here, and he tears Kia's ass apart.
You know what, Kia? I used to think you hated me because you thought I wasn't good enough for Lord. But that's not it. See, you tear me down to make yourself feel better because you really hate yourself, which is kind of pathetic when you actually stop and think about it, assuming, of course, you can think, with all that makeup weighing down your head.
But she likes it.
She's
like, damn. She's like, why are you such a bitch, basically? And he walks away, and they're just kind of, Kia and Lori look at each other like, oh, damn.
Wolfman got nards.
Wolfman got nards. And then we cut to...
did you catch the baseball reference in this movie?
To the sport?
No, we're in a cornfield.
Right.
Field of dreams.
Okay, so you said a
That's not
baseball
a-
reference,
Only it's
not
a
a Field
of
of Dreams
nightmares.
reference.
If you rave it, he will come.
Daniel.
He will come.
Daniel, did you catch that reference to birds? No, there was a bird at one point in this movie, right? Did you catch it?
There was no bird in this movie.
There
probably wasn't.
There was no bird.
There was no bird in this movie.
But you know what there was? There was Gib walking around the rave. She gets too close to our party boy, not Jason Mewes, and he's talking about how, like, great and gnarly the murder scene of Trey was. And
Right.
Gib's like, what? And he's like, I'm sorry. She's like, ah. And she, like, storms off in the cornfield to go be alone when there's a murderer out there. That's great. She gets herself in a nice little dream scenario. And Trey's back. Babe, come on. Don't make me ask you twice. Like, you know he's dead. But as soon as... so I
But
like
it's a
using this
dream.
line twice.
Hey, don't make me ask you twice, okay?
Because as soon as he says the don't make him ask you twice, she's been trained on this from him previously. So she's skeptical, doesn't want to do anything. Then she says that, or he says that, and it just triggers her. She drops her cup and she just starts like in a trance, moving on towards him.
Right.
And I'm like, damn.
Now,
And then it cuts out.
yes. Now, explain to me why we need to also have a creepy raper ravey guy enter the scene.
So, okay, we cut to her late, passed out in the cornfield laying there, and yeah, we got the raver guy coming up. I'm going to get me a grope. This is why we needed it, Ryan. Jason operates, like, you know how a T-Rex vision's based on
Up
movement?
until this, Jason's still a hero, right? Because
Jason is
Yeah,
still
Jason's
the
still a
hero.
Because
he
Blake's
does.
a
He
douche.
just stabs a little too far. Is the thing.
Yeah,
Doesn't know his
Okay.
own strength.
he had to kill Blake because Blake was threatening him.
Yes.
Well, Blake sucked.
Yeah. So, yeah, he goes over. Jason is drawn to the horniness and the sex. That's it. He has no eyeballs probably. I mean, we see them, but whatever. And he's like, you want penetration? I'll give you penetration. So Jason stabs straight down through the two of them. But while that's going on,
He throws that guy so far.
Yeah, he goes flying. But poor Freddy.
Would you say like a baseball being hit out of a stadium?
Actually,
No, I wouldn't.
I would.
I wouldn't.
I
Say
would
that.
say that.
I wouldn't say
It's
that.
a home run.
He did a home
I did
run.
say Cosby strikes again.
Cosby strikes again.
When Raver getting the grope. This is where I said the boiler room that Gib was in her nightmare was the boat from Manhattan. Freddy throws her around. She ends up down. She like hides in a locker. Freddy is about to go for the kill shot. It's going to be his first kill of the movie. And then he gets blood bukkake because
He gets kill blocked by Jason.
Yeah. As Jason hits her in the real world, the blood flies out of her chest and the nightmare all over his face. And Freddy's so pissed now.
She's mine! Mine!
Now Freddy, it's backfired, and Freddy's like, oh shit, Jason's killing these kids before they can really spread the fear. Like, I need to kill him, which I think that's a moot point. They're still dying. They still think it's Jason or Freddy, so whatever. Then we cut back out there. Yeah, that dude goes flying. Gibbs dead. We got not Jack Black,
Yep.
who can't handle his Everclear, and
Which I don't know if there is a way to handle Everclear.
Everclear is pretty fucking potent.
That's like 80% alcohol, right?
It's a
We'd
sipping drink.
We'd mix it with, what the fuck is that creature? We'd mix it with just straight Kool-Aid. Delicious. That's weird. Like, she just swept you off stage. That's so odd.
Why did she do that?
Well, this is the part where I want to point out, though, not Jack
Yeah,
Black.
take it away.
So first they make fun of Jason standing there. You know,
It's
they're
duck.
saying this is a rave, not a Halloween costume.
But it's a duck,
Pope.
like in like a platypus pose.
You gotta
right?
do the pose.
Because like a duck would never make that pose. A platypus, though.
Could. Definitely could. Oh no.
Oh
Good. Not good. So they make fun of Jason. Jason kills not Jack Black's buddy there. Not Jack Black's buddy, or not Jack Black, reacts perfectly. Instantly douses Jason with the Everclear, grabs the torch, lights his ass on fire. Like, that's a correct response.
That is the
That's
correct
good.
response.
That's good.
But and then he runs, but he's not running in a straight line for some reason.
Because you got to zig and zag. But
Why do you got to zig and zag?
You got to lose him.
He wasn't even zigging and zagging. He was like looping.
Well,
like, why are
he's
you?
a little-
Serpentine.
He thought he was running straight.
Oh, that might be.
the
The
Everclear
Everclear.
was. No, a little to the right. Yep, this is straight.
But I love the shot of the fire like tracing through the field after
so good.
Jason walked through. Yeah, I agree. It's a great movie.
And the flaming machete as it just flies through to pale
see,
him
it
from behind.
And it shoots out at us almost like
very
this
cool.
should have
Almost
been
like
a 3D movie.
Yes.
Yes. And then they're sitting there, he's fighting around, and like I think a machete hits a keg, and the keg like erupts onto him and puts the fire out.
Would that work?
Yeah.
A beer would put out fire, yeah. It's if the Everclear is mostly burned off at that point, it should. If not, it would just spread the accelerant.
Yeah. Beer is not a flammable liquid.
Like if right,
I didn't know. That's why I asked.
well, I figured
not
that's
a
what you're
botanist.
saying. But like if you dump water on on fire gasoline, you're just gonna spread it further. It's not gonna put it out. That doesn't work that way. So like if the Everclear was still all over him, I don't think that would necessarily have worked.
Kenny,
But whatever. We're not here to talk about science. We're here to talk about.
We're not here to talk about Jason.
we're here to talk about
because
sick
at
vans.
this point, after this happens, they all flee, and I start going, "That was fun." When does
When
this
do they
become
fight?
Freddy versus Jason?
When they fight.
When do they go and fight?
When does it become Kong versus Godzilla? You know that's always at the end. We've been down this path
but,
before. All not Jason, all not Jay Muse trying to say is that goalie was pissed about something.
That's true.
So who do we got in the van? We got Lori, we got Kia, Gibbs dead, we got Will, we got Mark, we got Linderman, we got not Jay.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah. So
They pick up the cop guy later.
Pick up.
Yeah, pick up the cop. They go drop off not Jay, Linderman, and Kia somewhere.
Yeah, and how does Will know where because Linderman's all like, "Yeah, fuck the police, take me home, Will." He's on a first name basis with Will right now, although he's just met him a couple seconds ago.
Unless they knew each other from middle school, because Will
4 years
obviously
ago.
is a town, so as a 4-year gap, yeah, that's the only guess there. Small town, Even though there's a lot of kids in that hallway, I don't know that it's that small. But the thing is, we drop those kids off. Will takes her to her dad's house, who he, in his mind, seen Laurie's dad murder his mom. He doesn't want her to go inside there. I guess he's doing what the parents aren't doing and giving her kind of a choice. But also, you're dumb, though. Don't take her there. Why'd you even drive her there? Could have avoided this whole thing.
Well,
this whole little interaction.
She's got school tomorrow. She's got to get home.
All that happens is she gets, like, the dad shows up. He's like, oh, you fucking suck, Will. Stay away from my beautiful daughter. I'm gotta go give her some pills. You get out of here, Will. Daughter runs inside. Dad's like, well, why is she mad at me? He goes in there like, why are you mad at me? She runs in the bedroom. He's like banging on the door. She sees an open window, like, oh, I can escape the house. And goes out of the house, runs away, and finds Will and leaves. Exactly. The whole thing could have been avoided. It was 2 minutes of her.
It's that one guy from that one movie running into the house to jump out the window.
That little cabin where he jumps through the window and he's right there next to the house. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. That's a good movie. I just like that scene was, I was like, what the fuck? That was dumb. Could have avoided the whole damn thing. She's walking in that heavy ass rain. We get Mark. Mark got dropped off before we went to Laurie's house. Mark is he's at his brother's old apartment.
Okay, hold on. Before we get there is something really funny that happened, and you might have missed it, because Will is telling Laurie that Laurie's dad killed Laurie's mom. So Laurie asks him about it, basically saying, oh yeah, she died in a car crash? Okay, well, show me an autopsy report. Show me a death certificate. And for a moment, Dad almost puts his hands in his pockets like he's checking them, and then he pulls At least that's how I choose to interpret it.
Like, hold on, I keep this. I had this.
Where's my wallet?
Put him in his pockets like, oh, where'd I put that?
The thing is, this whole town is in on the Freddy thing. There's no way he couldn't have went and got one of those faked and had it on hand for other purposes.
I don't know. It'd be super suspicious if he kept it on hand.
Well, on hand, but I mean, like, in your files.
We find out later that Laurie discovers that Freddy killed her mom, but it was never clear to me that Dad knew that happened.
Well, but Dad was there when it happened.
Yeah, it was never clear to me that Will
he
found out that
Well,
Dad...
I thought it was that what Will saw was the dad coming home and then seeing Freddy kill her before his eyes.
For all we know, it could have been another, like,
how would that have
Freddy
happened
possession.
unless it was a dream? Because Freddy's not materialized.
Well, no, she dies in the dream, but then blood... You know how it happens, right?
And he could have just got there at the exact wrong time.
Wrong time. But, like, why are you wandering around your house with a knife like that? Unless there wasn't really a knife.
The knife was in the room, maybe.
Why was the knife in the room?
Maybe it was one of those Freddy possession things where he was making the wife kill herself or something. I don't know. Or he was making a sandwich and he heard his wife screaming.
That's not a knife, a sandwich knife, no.
He was carving the ham.
I'm sorry, what?
You heard him, bitch.
All the shit I get for my Missouri stuttering
That's not a
mouth.
knife, a sandwich. That's not a knife, a sandwich. Sandwich, no.
You leave Jar Jar Daniel alone, goddammit.
Hey, he's been redeemed. He got to play a Jedi.
He should have always been redeemed. Jar Jar's a real one.
Jar Jar,
fuck all the haters.
He should have been the dark Sith.
Well, I'm not talking about Jar Jar. I'm talking about the actor who got to play a Jedi.
But Jar Jar should have been a Jedi.
He should have
Jar
been
Jar
a villain, if you haven't seen
Jar
that.
Jar can burn in hell.
No, I've seen those takes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's good.
We get Mark in this Friday movie we're talking about. We get Mark in his house having a nightmare scene. So I think, oh, hi, Mark. I think it's supposed to be his brother's apartment, but his brother had to have killed himself over 4 years ago.
Oh, hi, Freddy Worm.
I don't like, so he gets some wake aid to try to stay awake. It doesn't work. He gets these weird, like, rubber tubing shoot out of the floor and start stabbing into his feet. And that makes me cringe. That seems painful. I don't like that.
Yeah.
He sees his dead brother in the bathtub.
I do like the screaming of, like, wake me up. I think that's really cool.
When he said wake me up, after each time, did you go wake me up inside? Because I did.
Save
no,
me.
But I feel like that song should have been on the soundtrack for this, obviously.
100%.
None of you went 100, before you
100.
go.
No, it was all wake me up.
Have I talked before about how...
Have you talked to Depor before?
Like some theater group came to like my middle school and did like a Nightmare on Elm Street thing with the Evanescence music, and it was weird as hell. And this might be a fever dream I had.
I have never heard this.
Go on, Detour. Let's hear it. Story time with Daniel.
That was it.
Okay, back to
but
story
this
time with
may
Daniel.
or may not have happened. I might have just maybe Andy knows.
Well, you'll have to ask him later. He's probably working. Mark gets killed. It's sad. I liked Mark. We didn't get enough Zach Ward in this because I like Zach Ward, but Mark's gone, so now we're down to what? We're Lori, Kia.
Well, we get Freddy's back written on Mark's back.
Written on his flesh.
Funny.
Yes. So he's finally got enough power though to kill. That's Freddy's first kill.
Freddy's first kill.
And that probably works because Mark already believed in him. Like, hardcore was scared of him. So that works out pretty well.
But he wasn't willing to deliver the message because Freddy was going to let him live.
Yeah, if he told them.
But he kind of already did that.
Yeah, I can also tell right here, these are my notes when I started falling asleep.
No worries.
Last night. So, I said, like, for a guy who's supposed to be scared of fire, because Freddy's thing is supposed to be fire. Jason's, they decided to make water because Freddy had a thing, so let's make it the opposite. He uses fire a lot. Yeah,
so now, at that point, we've hit that 70s show where they're all sitting around the circle table, getting high, and they're talking...
Who are you more scared of?
And they're like, okay, like, a panty sniffer cop is like, talking about Jason, they made the mistake of killing his mother, back in the day. And I'm like, really? I don't think that was a mistake. I think that was pretty purposeful when they cut her head off.
He was a murderer.
Yeah, I think that was on purpose and very dead.
Yeah.
But, Will somehow has read the script, and so he knows exactly what Freddy is doing, that it's all about using Jason to get people afraid, to bring Freddy back. How he got out his jump to conclusions, Matt, and just fucking nailed it, man. Beautiful. And then...
Yeah.
What you're talking about,
100%.
Kenny, Lori's like, wait a minute. Jason died by water. Freddy by fire. How can we use that? And then everyone else is like, yeah, that's an interesting point to the movie. Moving on.
Yeah, so they have the discussion there. Who are you more scared of? Freddy or Jason?
Freddy.
It's an obvious... Yeah, Freddy's the obvious answer. Jason has to walk everywhere he's going.
I can get on a plane.
Theoretically get away from Jason.
I can just not go to Crystal Lake.
Yeah, you know what you have to do? Sleep.
In this movie, it's been almost an hour, and it still isn't Freddy versus Jason.
It still was hardly even a Friday movie. This is a... Because even the Jason kill stuff... So when he killed Trey, that was a very Friday kill. The corn rave, there's too much going on there at that moment. It doesn't feel like a Friday setting.
That feels like the pool party from Nightmare Part 2.
Yeah, that's a big like potential massacre scene or something. We do get Jason killing people in larger quantities in some of the later movies for sure, but at that point they kind of lost their way. We always get the what I call the pinball of chaos Jason at a certain point in the earlier movies where, okay, now we're killing, so he's killed this character, walk to another place and kill a character.
But something I feel like that is not brought up enough is that Jason is a slug demon.
It is not talked about enough. Well, now we found, though, we need to get that Hypnosil, and we got fucking loads of that Hypnosil back at the mental asylum.
Did any of you think that the bald security guard kind of looked like a knockoff Donald Pleasance?
Everybody in this movie looks like a knockoff somebody.
Thank you. I'll take my check. I'll see myself out. No worries. Thank you. I'll go sit over here in the corner. Ha ha ha. Jason doesn't know how to open a pull door. He just keeps trying to push. Okay. Ha ha ha.
Poor guy.
He gets squished.
Well, what they're talking about, maybe they only go after virgins. Like, so we got to lure him with a virgin, and they're all looking around. They look at Linderman, and Linderman's like, what? It counts even if you pay for it. That high school boy in that small town got himself a prostitute at some point.
That was a
dream sequence, though.
You think?
He was confused. That was a dream.
Did I freeze or did you freeze? Uh-oh.
Or
no.
has he frozen?
Or is he just... Or is he frozen?
It was me. I did it this time. Oh, no. I did it this time.
That's amazing.
Okay, he's back.
Your face was just one of pure, like, it was disbelief. Somehow it freeze framed on but more subtle. More subtle.
Was it this
one? More, like, confused
it was very subtle.
Disbelief. Like you were questioning your very existence.
You're doing more or do less? No, less with the eyes. Right there.
There.
Oh no! It did it again! What's going on?
Oh, it's doing it again.
Look,
it's not
Jason
good.
Doesn't know how to open. Daniel, you know how these doors work, right?
My God, why?
Well, they have to be labeled.
This is true. Proper labeling is what's required.
The back internet. Oh no!
Pull situation.
Oh no!
Legally, if it's labeled pull, you have to pull.
Big heckin' thunderstorm.
That's what your shirt says. I believe you.
Big heckin' thunderstorm.
My shirt also says, "Ask me what my shirt says."
Classic Daniel.
Yeah.
So now you're just sleepaway camping us. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, Lenderman paid for it. I don't think that was a dream sequence. We get
A dream sequence that we all knew was a dream sequence.
The let's tie the bitch up when they're all about to turn on Laurie in the dream.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was pretty funny. But then this is where we get the part where Laurie grabs onto Freddy as she gets woken back up and rips his goddamn ear off.
Do you think that hurt him?
Yeah. So we've done this mechanic before in other Nightmare movies. It's hard to talk about this one without talking about.
Wouldn't she have brought all of them back?
I think she ripped the ear off before she left.
Like that.
Oh, okay.
To get him, you actually have to do a full on
hug him.
Bear hug. Yeah. So now this is where we get the idea of, okay, we can bring Freddy out. We gotta bring Freddy out. And then someone's like, yeah, let's they probably don't like each other. So, we'll do some of that. But let's go to the mental asylum.
Here's our idea. I'm gonna pitch our idea. Take your favorite characters from the dating game and
you make them fight.
You make them fight.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Take my money.
Yeah. Look, rock'em sock'em robots. It's fine. We get to the hospital. We're looking for the hypnosil. Not Jay finds the hypnosil, but now he's unconscious. And Freddy's turned into a giant caterpillar, and he's saying, "You need to look, man." It's like before the caterpillar.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Drugs and everything. Telling him like, "Hey, man, you need to dump these drugs down the drain." And he's like, "Well, I think we need these." And he's like, "Fuck you!" And he fucking caterpillars down his throat.
Slugs into him.
That character's name is Freebird.
And now we get
no.
Yeah, not Jay. Yeah, Bill. We're
Bill
not going.
Freebird. That is not his name is Bill Freebird. I'll allow that. His name's not just Freebird.
No, it's Freeberg.
Oh, okay.
No, I like Freebird better.
Yeah, Bill. I like free ball in it.
I said it.
Who's with me? But now we got you heard a lot of things. But we got Freddy doing a full-on possession now, which I don't really know how much we've ever seen that. These aren't all super fresh in my mind, but basically he's possessing Freebird, and he's dumping the hypnosil down the drain. Everyone else
now
shows up on the cop shows up, I think, on the other side and says,
"Well,
what are you doing?
Just
we need
flush
that.
Pills down a drain."
It'd be easier to use a turlet.
Wouldn't it get stuck?
At some point, you'd think so. Those capsules are not that fast dissolving.
No, they're big pills.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
I'm not.
Ryan's not.
They're small enough to be swallowed.
But they're big pills. You ever taken a big pill?
I've swallowed a
up
big
the ass
pill, Daniel.
And well, swallow this pill, Ryan.
Is this
Daniel's
gonna
right.
go down my gullet? I don't know.
Well, that's mostly you that has a swallowing problem.
Just a me. Yeah, that might be a me problem.
You do have a problem with swallowing.
Little boy,
really gonna cut into your career.
In your mouth.
Little cop man's like, you can't. Don't pour that. We need that. And then Jason shows up, and shenanigans happens, and cop man gets
Penny Sniffer gets electrocuted. Now,
Jason chops into the mainframe, and then he's all and he's touching the cop, and then the cop.
Yeah, now the raptors are gonna get loose.
Yeah, we hacked
need to
them.
mention that we discover that there are some kids here who they've put into permanent comas because they've taken too much hypnosil. So, okay, I'm just throwing it out here. You got these kids who, let's say, have the Freddy disease, and is it not better to just kill them?
Oh, that's where you're going with that. I was going with why doesn't Freddy puppet them?
Because they're in comas, they're not dreaming.
Well,
are you not dreaming in a coma?
They've been pumped too much of hypnosil, so if the hypnosil is doing what it's supposed to do,
the hypnosil is doing its
destroyed
job.
them, basically. So we've got, if I'm evil psychology person, right? Why am I keeping these people alive? Well, for what purpose?
I mean, maybe you think you can get them back out of it at some point. I don't know. It's a fucked up thing. They have random lines where they in the sand for their morals on a lot of the shit. So it's just to have a cool scene where they all sit up and turn.
It is. 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's also to explain though why we have this high dose sleeping agent there.
Oh, because we need it for them comas. For coma just right.
Coma,
right,
chameleon.
So nobody currently
you sleep a lot.
Oh no, Panty Sniffer got electrocuted. Buzz, 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 buzz.
He's real crispy.
Shut the sniffer.
He's real crispy.
Shut the sniffer. So at this point, nobody is left alive that's seen not Jay, Freeberg dumping the pills. So Freeberg's standing out in the hallway. They're all running past Lindenberger.
Slenderman.
Lindenberg.
Yes, Slenderman's still there.
Slenderman's like, come on, we gotta go. And he just stands there, it's like, we gotta go, man. And Freeberg's like, I've got this, bitch. And oh god, so good. And he's got the two like large ass fucking syringes behind his back. And Jason gets up and is like, what the fuck are you doing? And Freddy fucking jabs both sides of the neck, fully plunged it. Jason's like, ah! And fucking slices his ass in half.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good Jason slice, which I'll point out later. It makes that must have really dulled his blade, because we got some other stuff later where I'm like, okay. But now Jason
takes a little nap,
unconscious, and takes a little nap. Now our heroes are like, let's take him with us.
There is no conversation.
No,
they
we
just
get back to
do
them,
it.
And he's chained up in the fucking van.
I also want to point out the only almost up to this point. Okay, so we have Freddy has killed Mark. Okay, however, everyone else that these kids know or knew has been killed by Jason, but they are not treating Jason like the threat.
Well, Jason's just like a bad dog, right?
Jason has murdered their friends.
Right, but who let that dog off the leash?
I'm just saying, you're gonna put
the dogs out.
Your friend murderer, you're gonna put him in the van with you. You're gonna go give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to your friend murderer.
Y'all, something's wrong. It's like he's drowning or something. Freddy must be killing him.
We need him alive. Dude, what do you want me to do? Like, give him mouth-to-mouth or something?
There had to have been like a scene that was cut where they're talking about, okay, he's asleep on the ground.
Maybe.
The fuck do we do with this?
We say,
I'm just gonna say this, Ryan.
Wizard. There has to be a trick.
Yes, we will say that. I'm just gonna say this, Ryan. You're blaming the gun here.
I'm saying you're putting the loaded gun up to your head.
No, you're taking the loaded gun away from the guy who was using the gun against you. You're disarmed.
You're taking the loaded gun back to the store.
Yes, you're taking the loaded gun back to its
You still got your finger on the trigger and you're pulling
place.
it. You're Russian rouletting,
Guns are always dangerous, but we got to get them out of the hands of more dangerous people with the gun. Freddy.
Look.
But it goes back to what you said. Will read the script, damn it. He knows if we're gonna take out Freddy, we got to use Jason. And he's like, "Oh right, the script, the first page, it says Freddy versus Jason."
This is what Ryan has been screaming at the TV for the past hour. Take my favorite romantic characters and make them fight.
Make them fight. So yes, now we got Jason in a nightmare realm, and yes, Pinball Jason. Literally, he is bouncing him around. But before that, Jason cuts off Freddy's arm, and he's like, and then he cuts off his other, not my arm. And it's like, but wait, Dream Power's arms pop back up. Jason's like, oh, what the fuck?
That's right, you're in my world, bitch.
Yeah, I love Freddy toying with his victims, and I love him thinking Jason's gonna be a victim. And he is putting Jason through fucking hell. Pinballing him across the boiler room, drops a massive thing on top of him, and then he gets that, why won't you die? Like, so good. And then there's a leak springs in the boiler room from something he knocked down, and like a nice little waterfall's coming down. Jason's coming up to do a slice of the machete, and then he freezes in front of the water. Like he can't even get wet at this point, even though he must have been moving around in that heavy downpour.
Man, you guys remember
Daniel,
when
he's been walking through the rain,
in the Manhattan
taking
River?
Swims, raving in the sewers, just fine. Okay, now is it because it's a nightmare and not the real world? In the real world, he recognizes this as a irrational fear. He's not hydrophobic, but in his dream, he's all, I don't want to get wet.
No.
I mean, in the real world, in this movie, he does a beautiful swan dive off the fucking side of the dock after he pops up and does a surprise hit. And he's like,
that's called character growth.
It's because Freddy's afraid of fire. What's opposite of fire? Water.
Kia, he has asthma.
So no, that's Lindenberger.
Will says to Kia. That's why Kia has to give mouth-to-mouth to Freddy. No, not to Freddy, to Jason, because...
See, look, I would do it myself, but I've had asthma since I was 6, okay? I don't have the lung power.
It's not because he's homophobic, guys. It's because he has asthma.
You telling me you'd walk over there and go, yo, bro, yo, Jason, bro, take off that mask and let me put my lips against your lips, bro.
Well, I'm not doing that to Jason, no.
Jason didn't have lips.
You can't, Daniel.
He didn't have lips.
You have asthma. God.
I have asthma.
Asthma.
You're right. It's not going to work. Kenny, you're up, buddy.
Freddy surrounds. I'll give him all day, baby. I gotta breathe life into this gun. Jason gets surrounded by water because Freddy's like, oh, you are scared of something. Then he reverts back into child Jason.
When he should have reverted back into a slug. He should be afraid of salt.
he would have done that if Freddy got to continue going down, because this is where Freddy invents Inception and going deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because he goes up to child Jason on the floor there. It's like, well, let's go deeper. And so he dives even further. So we're in Jason's like mental palace. And he's got some like door he opens up, like it's a weird floaty, like filled with water type thing where bodies are flowing around, and he throws another body in there. So it's like his weird floaty trophy room. And then we cut back to him as a camper, and he's getting tormented by the other campers who then push him in the lake. And my thing here is, shouldn't we have been murdering the campers this entire time then? Like, not just the council. Shouldn't we have been focusing on killing those other kids too? Because it seems like they are the real issue here, according to this setup. Lori has now decided she needs to go in there to pull out Freddy. So they put her to sleep. They got a timer to try to wake her up. So now, when she jumps in there, for some reason, she gets to automatically incept inside of that dream instead of being in her own dream. So unless Freddy did the work to go out, like, hey, yeah, go ahead, come and join us. So that bothers me a little bit, but whatever, she's there. She's walking around camp. She goes up to the counselors, and you see these two counselors like humping on the thing, and she's like, hey, he's drowning. Can you come help? It's like, can't you see I'm busy here? Not my fault this bitch is dead on her feet, and like pulls out and like it's a dead counselor, and it's Freddy, and I'm like, God, classic Freddy humor. Love that gay guy. Don't love that gay. I have no issues with any of the gays, but I don't know that specific gay enough not to love him or not. But she's like, I guess I'll go save Jason. So she runs out to the dock. She runs out to the dock.
Freddie Mercury. He's solid.
And she's like, I'll help you. Yeah, he's
one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones.
One of the good ones. She reaches for Jason to help him out of the water. He comes out of the water and she sees his face and she's like, oh, fuck no. She's like, oh, help him.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to Jason in the real world and the water's pouring out of his face. I like to think he's sweating profusely. And that's when Kia has to try to give mouth-to-mouth to his gross-ass face. So here's the thing. Will gets startled while driving the van. What was it that startled him? Was it Jason setting up suddenly?
Kia's about to give mouth-to-mouth. Jason sits up really fast, a la Michael Myers, and that makes Linderman, who's got the gun, fire a shot off, I think, which goes through the windshield.
Yes, that's right.
Will get spooked.
And
maybe they should have gave the gun to someone else.
Maybe. To Jason.
Maybe.
Jason with a gun would have been cool. I just think, like, I know how I am in situations, and that gun going off would not have caused me to make a 90-degree turn with the car straight off the road. Like, I might have done a quick swerve, but Will just lets...
his brakes.
Yeah, that probably too. Will just lets Jesus take the wheel, and he's handling the gas.
And the problem with that is that Jesus isn't real.
Maybe, well, he can't drive either. Well, here's another problem I have with this movie. They flip the van. Jason takes off like the flying nun out of the back of the van. He goes flying. Fucking Lori was laying on the ground right next to him. She's just out there comfortably next to the van, unconscious. Why didn't she go do a heckin' fly?
Physics.
Plot belt fastened, so...
You gotta have your plot belt fastened.
And then, now she's still dreaming. She's trying to get woken up. Because she's like, I've got, Freddy does a sick fly out of the water. I can't wake up, save me. I do that again, because she's doing that. She gets transported back to her house now, out of, no longer in Jason's
Freddy
dream.
swaps her.
And, yeah, he shows her, basically, him killing her mother. And he's about to get a kill thing on her. She's grabbing him. They're trying to wake her up. They're inside a house in the real life that's on, like, who set the cabin on fire? They tried to stop Jason with the fire.
I think that just happened by accident.
The cabin?
That just happened.
Yeah. So anyway, they're trying to get her out of there. Everyone's running. They drag Lori's arm through the fire, and that wakes her up and allows her to pull in Freddy. And Freddy's still about to go for the kill strike, and then that dawns on him, like, wait a minute. So I love Robert Englund. He really is a great actor. Even through all the layers of latex he's got on his face, he's still able to convey, like, a lot of just animation. And so his reaction to, like, I'm in the...
He heard the boss music, so he knew it was time.
The music did change.
This was the boss fight music.
Yeah.
It got good. Yeah.
Yeah. Kia tried to hit Jason at one point in here, and Jason nailed her, and she did a nice fly. Like, Kia took some damage before she ever went down. She went flying. I think Linderberg got to stab Jason with Old Faithful, Old Glory.
Which I'm pretty sure that's a violation of flag
That
code.
is. Plus, Jason should have just died. You got stabbed with America, buddy.
Yeah. But is there anything more America than Jason, though?
There is. That's when Freddy comes out and tries to hit Jason with a nut kick. That's American. Good old nut kick.
Wolfman got nards.
Wolfman got NARS. Jason did not, though. It hurt Freddy more than it hurt Jason. Now, Freddy here, he's a bobbing and weaving little fiend. Now that he doesn't have his dream powers to heal him, he's got some powers. But he's fucking dodging, he's slashing, he's getting his back all around the place. Oh, and then
These
Jason
two are
picks up-
both Mortal Kombat characters,
Yeah,
right?
they are now.
They
yes.
are, yeah.
No, I mean, like,
Jason,
in Mortal Kombat,
Yes.
the game.
no, he means at this point the game has came out.
They've been for the past 5 years. They have been, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
checking.
no.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
agreeing with
So
you,
has
Ryan.
Predator,
I know what you meant.
So
I didn't
has
know.
Alien. So has Leatherface, I believe. Michael
So
Myers.
this is
I
a
don't
fight
think
that
so.
we could do.
We could do this in a unauthorized game, unofficial game. Jason picks up Freddy, slams him through a window, and then bar sweeps
so
him
good.
down through all the rest of the windows. The payoff of the fights are fantastic.
The fight is
between
very
them.
good.
It is very
what's-
good.
It was
Yeah,
the
but you know
hour and a
what's not
half
very
before
good?
it that I
When
have
this
a problem
movie takes
with.
a break to show me the death of Linderman, a character I did not care about.
Yeah, he's just leaning against a tree. Who gives
He's
a fuck?
finally gonna get laid, but he didn't keep that blood inside. Like the little guys need to keep the blood inside.
That's something that I feel like they don't teach you enough about in school, is how you want the blood to be in you and not out of you.
Yeah.
And if they had fucking gone to class, they would have learned that.
They would have, but
So-
they're too busy. Too
Okay,
busy
I'm gonna throw
fucking
this out
partying.
here. You can cut Lindemann from the entire script and nothing changes. I
Yes.
think you still need Kia, but Lindemann.
Yeah, you need Kia.
Nothing. Does nothing in this movie.
No, because Kia didn't really need the little bit of growth she got out of the Linderman character. You could have
Yeah,
had
that's
any
really
one
all
of the
you
other
get
ones.
from that, yeah.
You could have gotten rid of the cop
well,
too.
he does a little bit of
Uh,
lore, but you could have
you
had
need-
Laurie.
Doesn't he get them into the psych place?
But that's still Will
I feel like-
and Mark's old haunt.
I think you still need not Jay because you got to have a lovable stoner.
And you need someone who can put the pieces together and tell you this is Jason and he's from here, so you should take him here.
Yeah. So now Jason, I don't know how Jason was incapacitated right now, but Freddy is marching towards Will and Laurie, and Kia shows up to distract him. So she drops a hard F, but
Mhm.
Freddy keeps looking back.
Yeah, I believe that was not in the script.
Oh, you think
well,
she ad-libbed that?
If that's a choice, probably shouldn't have made that choice.
And my addled brain said that was not. That was some riffing.
If that's off script,
Maybe not use that take.
maybe you maybe you don't
I mean,
use that.
you got Freddy saying,
How sweet. Dark meat.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was more okay than in the public eye. So, I just
don't
like
think
how
it was.
it's also
It's still a
coming
little
from a
rough.
child
It
murderer.
definitely did
so,
not-
You know, he doesn't have to be the good guy in this.
Yeah, not to be confused with a child
He
predator.
could say that. I'm fine with him saying it. He's a monster.
Yeah, she. Well, it's just great though. He is distracted like a puppy between like its two owners. Like, come here, come here.
really
He's like,
is.
"Huh."
Yeah.
And his line like, yeah, sweet tooth for the dark meat. So she's sitting there, she's tearing into Freddy, saying like, dropping that hard F, like, oh yeah, what is that glove compensating for something? You got nothing going on down there? And I just love how Freddy this whole time, he sees what's going on behind her. So he's
Yeah.
taking this abuse. And then he picks up his glove hand and just kind of points with the little claw and makes a face, and she turns around and Jason is there.
wham!
He hits her so fucking hard with the machete, she goes flying off into the tree. This is the part where I say that thing has to be dull as shit.
Well, no, he
put
probably like
more
hit her with the.
the flat side.
Yeah.
Because with how easily he cut in half not Jay earlier, even with the flat side, the amount of force it looked like that Kia took there, Jesus.
He's a strong boy.
Yeah, she went flying. Now Freddy jumps back in there. They're doing some more combat. He does an elbow drop. He gets tossed into some air tanks. I don't know why they had all those air tanks. I guess they're going to scuba in the lake, but they seem kind of big.
If people were scubaing in the lake, they would have found Jason.
That's true. Those tanks were too big to be scuba tanks anyway, so I don't know what the fuck they were for. Maybe they're propane. I don't know. Anyway, man the torpedoes. Fucking Freddy starts slicing off the tips, launching them like a video game. We get to like what looks like a junkyard portion of the camp almost. And this is where I'm like, okay, I think Freddy still has some of his powers because all of a sudden he's on top of this large stack.
He climbed up.
Maybe
there.
it's like a quarry.
He climbed up. It's not a quarry. I think it's like building a building. But building a building.
Yeah, building. No, I think they've got like big bins of sand.
What are
got
they
like
harvesting?
haulers. sand. They're making a beach, a nice beach for Jason when he comes up. Maybe if he has a beach, he'll stop killing people.
Oh.
But he's beating the shit out of Jadar again, and he's about to drop this massive cart full of sand on him, but it gets stuck. So he's like over there pushing, like, come on! This swinging heavy thing come over and hits it, and Freddy comically like falls off the top there, which is hilarious. And then Freddy manages to chop off Jason's bowling fingers.
Hate to see that.
And he's got his machete now. So now Freddy's dual wielding, and he's kicking the shit out of Jason. He gets a head stab in with the claws right through Jason's eyes. I'm like, at this point, Freddy has won, but we just literally made Jason unkillable. Like, no matter what you do, they keep bringing him back. I think that's kind of boring. There's no real stakes for these guys. Neither one's actually going to lose. But they now are on the dock. Freddy has Jason dispatched. He's coming after Kia and Will, but while those two were fighting, they covered the dock in gasoline and lit it on fire, and the tanks blew up, and they ran away, and Freddy went blowing off. Then we cut back, we see a pair of legs, and then a machete hanging down, and they shoot it in a way to where we don't know who it is.
And it pans up, and it's stompy.
Yeah, and now it's Freddy standing there. His right arm, his claw arm is blown off, but he's got the machete in the left hand, and he's walking over there, and he's about to come over and take them out with the machete. And Jason does a sneak up out of the water and takes takes Freddy's claw arm, shoves it right through Freddy, which we established in most of these things, they don't like being stabbed with their own weapon, their own penis, their own manhood.
That's my note later, you
But
son
what I
of a
love
bitch.
is, I already talked about it, yeah, he stabs him straight through the body, and then he just does like, okay, and then he like does a nice little side dive off the dock. Like, I stabbed you, I'm good. He just dives, like, I'm out. I'm out. Not Kia, she's gone. Laurie's like, welcome to my world, bitch. And then cuts his head off, Freddy's head off with a machete. And then they take off, even though they just burnt down the entire forest. Then we see...
Well, they don't take off before Laurie throws Jason back his weapon.
Yes, the machete gets tossed back in the water. They take off, happily ever after. Jadar starts walking back out of the lake. And then as he gets around waist high, we see he's carrying Freddy's head because they're best friends till the end. The Freddy head smiles and winks at us. We get the Freddy laugh. And this is the part where I said the new God of War series is inspired by this movie.
Ah.
Because Kratos has a little talking head attached to his hip, and I'd watch that movie.
That's just Greek mythology.
We're going to say other things through that, too.
That's just Greek mythology.
I mean,
not
you say
Greek,
so,
Norse
but
mythology. Sorry.
I think, I'm pretty sure Freddy and Jason both existed before the Nords.
I'm pretty sure Peter Jackson ripped this
also,
movie
it's not
off.
Nords. Nords is Skyrim. Peter Jackson ripped this
You know
movie
the scene
off?
I'm talking about? It's at the very end.
Where he carries him to the volcano
and kisses him gently on the top of the head before casting him in the ring.
I can't carry but I can carry
head.
you.
Oh my god, brilliant.
For what movie did Peter Jackson rip this off?
So the scene when Freddy and Jason are on the dock and Jason is coming up with his machete to deliver a death blow. Freddy takes his claws, rips them across Jason's hand, and his fingers come off, dropping the machete.
Yeah, when he cuts
and that's
his bowling
the same
fingers off.
as in Lord of the Rings, where god damn it, Saruman. No,
And here's where I point out timelines of when things are made and say Peter Jackson was ripped off for this.
Which Lord of the Rings movie was
that
that?
would have been
Well, it
Fellowship,
doesn't matter because they were all filmed at the same. They were all filmed. That's 2001.
Okay. Wait, what?
Yeah, you're right.
One of
Lord
these
of the Rings
things
came out
happened.
first.
Yeah, it came out first.
Lord of the Rings came out before this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, beat it by 3 years.
Technically beat it probably by like 5 years because they probably filmed that long before. So
that's true, but we always act like they're over there watching like these movies before they come out. They didn't work on it.
This
I don't think
movie
Peter
looks
Jackson
so much
was watching
older
this
than that. How is that possible?
that's why I'm saying the CGI is garbage.
Well, we're still in that kind of trash CGI area. Like whenever they do it
No, Lord of the Rings is out. We're not.
Did you forget the Balrog and Lord of the
Spider-Man
Rings?
has happened. We're not in the era anymore.
If you don't have the budget, if you're not using the right studio for it, it's still gonna look like shit at this
agreed.
time. It's not like you can't just
the
mom
Freddy
and pop
worm
shop
should have
it.
been a puppet.
Like, yeah, when they used it for smaller things in this, I think it was great. Like just a nice little touch. But when it had to be an entire fucking thing, yeah, not great.
I'm okay with it. Look, with the Freddy worm looking like shit because it's a dream.
Yeah. So, during my reading of stuff on this, as I normally do when we're talking about these things, Brian is right. That is a body double in the shower, because when Catherine Isabel signed on to the movie, she had in her contract there was going to be no nudity from her. She's not doing any of it. This is where some
I'm saying is that shot was artistic. So
it was very artistic. There's a lot of artistic shots
No,
in this movie.
You knew it wasn't her because it was shot. It was shot above her head, down. Always when they do that, it's a body double because they're hiding the face.
Hide the face, but apparently it's pretty problematic. The director of this, Ronny Yu, was trying to force her to do one anyway.
Oh, won't get naked
kind
for
of
my
one of those
movie.
Things.
Is this a pseudonym for Uwe Boll?
It might be. Apparently, he had some other conflicts with other people on this set, so he wasn't necessarily great to be directed by. And I was looking at some other stuff on here. It said, actually, originally, James Wan was attached to direct this.
That would have been better.
That would have been fucking interesting, but he was busy doing Saw at the time. So I don't know if I buy that was actually a thing, but I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, I don't think they would have given him this until after Saw came out.
Maybe, but let me look and see what
did Ronny do
did before this.
Fucking Ronny.
So the things he did he did Formula 51.
Oh.
He did Bride of Chucky. He did Warriors of Virtue. And then after that, it's a bunch of like Hong Kong things.
So Bride of Chucky is what got him this job.
Probably.
Because that's a banger.
Look, not all the Child's Play movies are good. We'll get into that. There's one I don't necessarily love, and that's because the one right before it was so good. And then they took a few steps back. Then they fixed it. It's fine. Just rolling it back. I like this movie. This is going to be one of the upper ones for me. I think it's fun. Yes, it's not perfect, but none of these are. I think it was a fun but stupid way to get these two characters together. I mean, they went through allegedly 17 or so different scripts before they finally even settled on one of these. And for something that's been in development hell for a decade, the fact that it even got made and is at least palatable is a miracle, because we've seen things that end up let's just fucking release it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
1, 4, 5, 6, 2.
You have this written down.
Freddy versus Jason. 9, X, 8, 3, 7.
Yeah,
It's
X
not
that low?
It's just the other ones are better.
Okay, for me it goes Freddy Worm, Freddy Worm, Freddy Worm, Freddy Worm, or Jason Worm. Sorry, Jason Worm, Jason
Cut
Worm,
my Jason Worm in the shower.
Jason Worm, Jason Worm, Jason Worm, Jason Worm.
Is Jason Goes to Hell still your favorite?
Yeah.
That's the one where he just, we got Black Jason for a little bit. Did we get Lady Jason for a moment?
I don't know if we ever got Lady Jason. We got
I don't know, but
Jason who doesn't like mustaches.
It's like a Dreamcast FMV game. It's good.
Now this is the part where, we don't always talk about go watch or do something else if you liked this one, because we're doing the whole series here. But I will point out that, we know they did plan on another one that involved Ash Williams from Evil Dead. That never materialized, but in a movie form. But in 2007, 2008, we got a 6-issue comic series. And then I think we later actually got another one.
Yeah, so we got Freddy versus Jason, amazing. And then there was we got a follow-up to it.
Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Correct.
It was
then we
so
had
good.
Freddy versus Jason versus Ash versus Predator versus Big Mama from Big Mama's house.
True that. Ash has a lot of crossovers in graphic novels. He went up against Herbert West, Reanimator.
Yeah.
Because it turns out everything can be a Deadite if we say it is.
Everything is a Deadite.
Everything is a Deadite. It's all fucking Deadites. Yeah, so here's the part. This Jason actor was 6'5".
Big boy.
Kane Hodder was 6'2".
That's big.
Robert Englund is 5'10".
This would have worked.
So it could have still worked.
Y'all
That's
are
still
calling
4
Kane
inches.
Hodder short when he's 6'2".
No. He's just not gargantuan. 6'2", you're big, but you're not when I was standing next to those collegiate athletes, and I'm like, holy shit, you're huge. I'm looking up to them.
Is that?
When I was in college, we rode the same shuttle bus from the commuter parking, because that's where the stadiums and stuff were. I watched those guys who were already huge. Those guys to me were already huge. I'm at 6 foot even. Those guys were already huge. I watched them play against a much more prominent college school. We played against Alabama, and they looked like children out there against the Alabama players.
Why don't the bigger ones just eat the smaller ones?
I think they did in the womb. I think that's every giant athlete had to have eaten a twin in the womb to get that power. They had a quickening at childbirth. They have the power. I am immortal. I have inside me blood of kings.
I have no rival. No man can be my equal. Take me to the future.
I'll be...
Take me to the future.
all?
I don't know. What does he say there?
No. Take me to the future. Is it of you all after ending?
Take me to the future
Sounds like of your all, right? Tricked you fuckers. This has been a Highlander podcast all along. You thought it wasn't. This is like the third Highlander reference maybe we've made at this point. I'd watch Highlander versus Duncan MacLeod versus Jason.
Is Jason a Highlander?
Is Jason a Highlander? No, he gets his head cut off and he doesn't just like spoon.
Oh, he's like everywhere. A good one.
No head spooge.
Right, his head gets cut off, but does the slug's head get cut off?
Yeah, do you remember The Source? Let's never do that movie.
I disagree. I think we should do that movie.
To the source. Take me to the prize.
If there's a Highlander movie we're gonna do, it's gonna be that one.
That's the one we start with, so that then the rest of the series is nothing but bangers.
Because it's the source. Well, no, because Highlander 2 still exists.
How
Highlander 2's
dare
fine.
you? Highlander 2: The Quickening is the weirdest Dune adaptation you've ever seen in your life, okay? But it's beautiful.
It's like a sequel to Zardoz.
Take us back to Zardoz, Part 2. Okay, he and Sean Connery, for no reason, goes and gets a suit made in that movie.
He needs it. It's fine. I like that movie. It's a good movie. It's in the movie. I like this movie. I don't have my rankings written down. I'm going to have to write these down before we do our full recap episode. That's
coming up in 2 days, dog.
I might have had a stroke. Yeah, it is. So I'll say this, though. Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and then the upcoming remake is the most solid 3 movies in a row in this series, probably.
That
for
might
me.
be true. That might be.
I've been miserable for stretches of time here. I'm so happy with that last movie, this one, and I remember enough about the remake to know that I love the remake. Love it. It's fantastic.
Freddy
I'm having
versus
a good time.
Jason, Jason versus Freddy. Why do you think they settled on that instead of Jason versus Freddy?
Probably alphabetical. It's just more appealing to our brains.
Wait, this is done by New Line. New Line is the house that Freddy built, so they're going to start with Freddy.
That's also true. And it is a Freddy movie. Let's be real. Here's the thing, folks. I'm going to tell these guys right here, right now.
Uh-oh.
I think we do a new recording for this movie when we go do our Nightmare.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
and there'll be just 2 recordings of this movie. It'll be fun.
Let's just replay this one.
No, I think that's the cheap way out.
No, plus, I think I think instead of watching the movie, we listen to this podcast and then we go off of that.
I just think we have to come back into it with the Nightmare lore more fresh in our mind to see what they fucked up about the Nightmare series.
They nailed it
because we know what they fucked up about the Fred. I think
because they didn't introduce anything. The only thing maybe they introduced that's new is Freddy as a mind virus. Maybe that's but that's not something new. That's just an explanation.
But maybe he always was that, and they just never said it. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Like, hey, we realized this would be a good explanation for this, and it worked. I liked it.
I also liked how Laurie in this movie said that Jason's weakness is water and Freddy's weakness is fire, and that didn't come into play whatsoever.
Well, yeah, Freddy was around the fire when he got pulled out, and he didn't turn into a crippling baby Freddy.
The thing that explodes. My note is Hank Hill saves the day, but is it because that was propane?
So that is probably just fuel.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
The water.
That's
why
why
you
I
can
didn't say
feel
it in the
there.
moment.
But there are no boats.
There was a boat, right?
They were getting on a little boat. Yeah, little rowboat.
Right, but you wouldn't use those for that.
Why do they have oxygen tanks hanging around, Daniel? Because they're at Camp Crystal Lake.
That's what I'm
There's
fucking
gonna
asking.
be a cruise ship right there.
I don't. I've
how
been
this
thinking about it
geography
more.
works.
They're too big. Those gotta be like.
In that case, they nailed the Friday.
What those tanks were.
Nailed, yeah. I don't think Jason ever teleported in this, but Freddy can teleport.
See, we could have talked about how in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, Tina seen a goat in her nightmare. God damn it! I didn't even think of that till now.
It's a Jurassic Park.
I didn't think of it. I just read it.
Don't worry about it.
It's Jurassic Park because of the bush moving like a raptor was in it.
Yeah, Jason wants to hunt.
Fed.
Jason wants to hunt.
That's why I waited for, I don't know, what's his name? Blakey Blake to wake up. He doesn't want the easy kill, except every other time he has. I know.
One of the early considered scripts revolved around a cult of Freddy-worshipping teens called the Fredheads, who sought to resurrect Freddy through a series of sacrifices. Jason would be brought back to life through a sacrifice in order to stop Freddy and the cult.
Why do you have to sacrifice people for Freddy?
I think they really struggled with these scripts for a long time.
You think it took them a while to come up with the mind virus thing?
Also, another Lord of the Rings reference in this, Evangeline Lilly appears as an extra in this movie.
That's not a Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's a Hobbit reference, but, I just wanted to tie back to when we said...
Is she one of the losers in the high school standing around gawking?
Yeah, she's the student next to the
That's
locker.
how Peter Jackson ripped off this movie. He saw her, this movie, and he knew he had to have her, the Hobbit movie.
But she would have been cast by Guillermo.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
Hey, Ryan. She's also an uncredited party guest in a little movie called White Chicks.
She's also an anti-vaxxer. It sucks.
Yeah, that's not great. But hey, she stopped preaching it. That's the
Oh,
thing. Just don't go preaching it. Keep it to yourself if you're going to be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, welcome to my world, bitch.
Well, she must
Welcome
not be
to my
keeping
world,
it to
bitch.
herself, because I know.
Well, she made a goof and she realized, oh no, I need to ungoof. So then she just doesn't do it anymore. And I'm okay with that. You do what you want to do, baby girl.
Baby girl!
Do what you gotta do. Yeah, see, I'm excited. These are good. These are good. I have life again. A will to live has been brought back. Will has brought back my will to live. Good movie.
Now, this next movie has at least one hunk in it.
Oh, yeah, he's honky. And it has some stupendous boobs in it. That's their line, not mine. And it has an actor in it that I'll talk about that I really wish I got to see in more things, because he was kind of a flash in the pan. Very, very entertaining. So, we will talk about all that. You guys only have to wait 24 hours. You'll hear it. It's so exciting for you. Must be nice living in Octoberland. We're not.
No, we're there.
Oh, yeah, we're there.
Today's the 11th,
I mean,
right?
just like the Jason slug.
Yes.
We've been with you the whole time.
The whole time.
We've always been there.
We've always
been inside of you.
We've always been in October.
We've always been a slug inside your body.
You're in one.
How sweet. Horrible opinion meat. You need to subscribe. And now I'm turning into Batman. Remember to interact on Twitter, email, Instagram, leaving an episode review. Also, I'm afraid the next movie did not keep up this good momentum we had just built. Instead, we are doing Friday the 13th. Again, but different, but the same. It's like a prequel reboot thing. It's like they took part 1 and part 2 and part 3 and put them together in a blender. And what came out is the next movie. So pitch your tent and help us look for marijuana.
Well.
I guess I'm gonna go, I don't know, sharpen up my machete.
Gotta lube up my throat so a little slug can crawl down it.
Well, as always, I've been your horrible host, whose world you're in now, bitch, Kenny.
I've been...
Babe, don't make me ask again.
I've been your abusive boyfriend, Daniel.
I've been your giving the killer back his penis, Ryan.
Silent Jason noises.
I don't know.
Or maybe he's like a turtle.
Little turtle humping noises. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Bye-bye.
Dude, don't look at me. Even if you pay for it, it still counts.